do that again. Let's start up with saying Barakateh Hawa, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Ruchak Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. And pretty much the name of this one is If You Can't See. If you can't see that the mark of the beast is a microchip by now, then there's nothing that can really be said, for you to get it or understand it. Because the bottom line is, the information is out there. And the infrastructure is out there. Elder Pastor did a video called Biometrics, something else with it. I think Biometrics something. And pretty much what we're witnessing on the world stage is a total transition, from physical handling of money to everything being digitalized. And when you go into the scriptures on the word mark, if you're not caught up in not being able to go into the original language that the scriptures were written in, you see that the word mark in the English has many different meanings depending on what scripture you're dealing with. Such as when you look at the word mark or the name Mark, that means one thing. Then you look at the word mark in the book of Romans, the 16th chapter, the 17th verse. The Greek word for that is skopeo, which means to mark a person or watch that person, Then you have many different other marks. You have mark in the Old Testament, which in some cases goes back to the word thawah, which means exemption from judgment. Then you have another case in the book of Leviticus, in Ezekiel 9th chapter. Then you have the book of Leviticus, the 19th chapter, where you have the word mark. And the word there is kwai, which means an incision, to cut into. And when you go to the word mark in Revelation, dealing with the mark of the beast, the word that's there is synonymous with the word for mark in the book of Leviticus. It's synonymous with kwai, which the word is karagma, which pretty much is something that is inserted, cut into the flesh. And this is the ultimate goal of the so-called international banking families, is to get the whole world chipped, because they want a world of mindless slaves that they can track and they can fully control, as them being in a godlike state. As it says in the book of Micah, the 2nd chapter, the woe to them that devise iniquity upon their bed, and when the morning is light, they they put it to use, because it's in the power of their hands. There's so many words. The word their power in Micah 2:1 is the word Allah, or Allah, which is God. So they're in a godlike state. They have the power over the people. So what are they doing? They're constantly manipulating the world and the form of the world and the people's minds, gearing them for the mark of the beast, which is the microchip. And the evidence is overwhelming on the mark of the beast being the microchip. So if by now you can't see that, then that just means that you were blinded. The scriptures say, if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world has blinded the minds of them which believe not. So you have been blinded to that part of the gospel. If you can't see it, you have all type of people waking up, from all different walks of life, speaking about the mark of the beast being the microchip. One of the latest, that I've found out about is Shabazz the disciple. Even he knows that the mark of the beast is the microchip. And many others. I'm just mentioning him because he's, lately what, the latest person that I've found out that speaks about the mark of the beast being the microchip. And you have a lot of people that are waking up around the world to this fact. And the way that the world is transitioning into a cashless society, everything being digital, it only makes sense that the mark of the beast is the microchip, because they want everything on that chip. And if you do your due diligence in searching the scriptures, and if the Spirit is working with you, you'll be able to see that. You know, based off of the scriptures and based off of the 3 root words of the word mark in the English for mark of the beast, you'll be able to see through those 3 root words that is talking about something that's inserted. And the purpose of insertion, it speaks about the thing that's going to be implanted, which is the mark of the beast, the delivery system, which would be the needle, and the information that's stored on the chip, which would be the records. If you look at those 3 words, charagma, charax, and grapho, that's exactly what it means. You know, if you go deep into it. But if the Spirit ain't working with you, you're not going to get it. You know? And that's why we don't waste our time trying to break our back, you know, bending over backwards, you know, and spending endless amount of energy and time on individuals that can't get it. You know, you just forget them and move on. And now we understand why our teachers would say that if an individual can't get it, you know, I'm saying it the PC way. If an individual can't get it, then we moving on. You know? Why? Because it's a waste of time trying to get somebody to understand something that they're obviously not going to get. The scriptures speak about it. You could take an individual and throw them in a mortar and pestle and try to grind them together. That person, you know, is not going to get, if they're not meant to get this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, there's nothing that you could do or say to make them to get it. And that's the thing, you know, you can't waste time on these individuals. You know, you teach the word, you know, you understand that, look, they're not going to get it. Hey, well, I got to move on, because there's much work to be done, and there's not enough time left to sit there with individuals going back and forth with them for hours, as we used to do in the past, trying to get them to see the truth. You know, the scriptures speak about making them of quick understanding. So either they're going to get it or they're not going to get it. You know, and if they're meant to get it, they'll get it. You know? But if they're not meant to get it, it doesn't matter what you say, they're not going to get it. So forget about it. Just move on. You know, so this is why everything is transitioning into a cashless society. A cashless society equals no tangible cash on hand, everything being digitalized so that they can keep track of everything, because they want a piece of everything. And they want the power over the people. The scriptures say that these devils want to be like the Most High. You know, that way if the subject gets fresh, so to speak, here, you know, and doesn't want to comply with the master's orders, what do? They turn the chip off. And what happens when they turn the chip off? Pretty much you're deactivated and you won't be able to access anything. You see? So that's what they want. They want obedient servants. And that's what they do with people when you see in these movies like Enemy of the State, where they demonize the character that Will Smith played, and he tried to use his credit card. You know, he was a well-to-do lawyer. He had money. He tried to use his credit card. He couldn't use it because they shut all that stuff off. You know? And many other different movies that they do. And that's what they want. They want mindless slaves, you know, so that they can fully control the people. And that's why they have the great culling that they want to bring, which is cutting down the population of the earth to a manageable few. And they have these detention centers and re-education centers to re-educate those that once bucked up. You know, if the case be that they deem that person, you know, that they can re-educate them. And that's what it's all about. It's total control. You know? So, like I said, the scriptures say, if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world has blinded the minds of them which believe not. Lest the glorious gospel of Yahweh Shai shall shine unto them. Because if the gospel shines unto any individual, guess what? They're going to wake up. And if they're part of the elect, they're going to stay awoke. You know? And hold on to their position, whatever that position may be, until Yahweh Shai comes back. You know? So we're in that great transitioning of, you know, the world is vastly changing. You know, you have the young people of today, you know, coming up, pretty much learning the ways of the world as known today. People that are older remember a different era, you know, and there are different things that were not accepted in that world, which are now being accepted. That's why they're counting on being able to re-educate or educate the youth. This is why they took. This is why they made both parents to work, you know, and took the child out of school systems, which are the public school system, to what? So that they can educate them, so they can break that bond between the family and embed into their mind, you know, what they want them to learn, and program them the way they want them to program. They want them to be programmed, because the scriptures say that train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is far from it. And they know that it's very vital when a child is young, and they're very impressionable, that whatever you feed them mentally is what's more than likely they're going to stick with for the rest of their life. And this is why they have children in these school systems, you know, to mold them and fashion them to the ways of the elite and the future world that they have envisioned in their mind, this dystopian society, you know, and that's what they're trying to do. But what these devils don't count on, because they're not spiritual, is that is only going to work on the ones that the Lord doesn't want. This is not going to work on the elect. And this is what the devils, this is where they're missing the mark at, that the elect are not going to bend to their will. But they think that they're so wise and so cunning that they're going to be able to deceive everybody. The scriptures say, if it are all possible, they shall deceive the very elect. But you won't be able to deceive the elect. Why? Because they are the elect. Bottom line. You know, so there's nothing that you could do to change that. There's nothing that you could do to change that. So, to recap, or to sum it up, or the conclusion is, if you can't see that the mark of the beast is the microchip by this point, because the evidence is overwhelming, you know, and the information is already out there. You don't even have to do you don't even have to do much footwork. It's already laid out for you in videos, you know, breakdowns, you know. There's documentaries that Spirit had Elder Pastor put together, you know, that we were a part of. Brothers have done numerous videos on the mark of the beast. So all you have to do, if the Spirit moves you, is sit down, listen, and do your own research. And you'll see it if the Spirit is working with you. But if the Spirit is not working with you, no matter what, you're not going to get it. You know? So, in closing, if you can't see by now that the mark of the beast is the microchip, then it's not meant for you to get it. You know, you're blinded by the ways of this world. The Lord didn't choose you. You know? Because if the Lord chose you, your eyes will be open to see what's really going on in this society and in this world. So with that, you know, I pray that your brothers have been edified. To the next time I say, Shalom.